Chapter 1. Shadowed London. Year 2147. There has been no sun in the sky over London for years. Only smoke, the wailing of sirens, and the shadows of crumbling skyscrapers. Once a city of lights, London is now a dead metropolis where people aren't living. They're merely surviving. Raindrops seem to vanish into the metallic fog. In the ground floor of a decaying building, stormy winds slip through shattered glass. Inside, a hidden room sits Nila, a 17-year-old girl. Her eyes are tired, but her belly is round. She is pregnant, the only pregnant human on Earth. For 21 years, no child has been born. No one knows why. Science has failed. God is silent. Nila doesn't understand why her body is different, why she could conceive, in a world where the very word birth is nearly forbidden. Suddenly, a noise outside, the sharp hiss of a tank. Fear flashes in her eyes. She knows, they're hunting her. A man enters through a secret back door of the building, wearing a dark coat, his face weary. It's Aryan, once a government doctor, now a fugitive. They're getting closer, he whispers. Nila stands up. In her hand is a small bag. Inside, some dried food, water, and an old music box. Her mother's memory. Aryan says, "We have to leave now. We need to head for the European border. The human dawn still exists. They can keep you safe." Nila asks, "Will they really not experiment on me?" Aryan is silent. His eyes show doubt, but there's no time. A distant explosion echoes. London trembles again. Nila and Aryan rush out through the ruins, fighting to protect humanity's last light. Chapter 2. The depths of the underground. Through the ruins of London, Nila and Aryan run into the mist of the night. Darkness surrounds them. Above their heads, drones hum. The city doesn't sleep. It hunts. "This way," Aryan says, pulling her by the hand toward an abandoned metro station. Once, people commuted here. Lovers met on these platforms. Now, it shelters predators, shadow people, and a secret group, the Underground Flame. Beneath the metro station lies a tunnel swallowed in darkness. Symbols mark the walls. A shattered sun with words underneath. The womb shall light the world again. Nila is gasping for breath. The pressure of the child inside her is growing. Aryan asks, "Are you okay?" Nila nods, but her eyes are restless. She feels it. This child isn't just hers. It is a nation's last hope. A belief. A rebellion. Suddenly they stop. From the corner of a wall, 3 figures emerge, faces covered, dressed in black, red scanners glowing in their eyes. One of them speaks. "Nila Rahman?" Aryan immediately steps forward. "We've come seeking help. We just want to get her safely to the European border." One of the figures approaches and removes their mask. White hair, faint, tired eyes, a scar beneath the throat. An older woman, her name is Ilya. She says, "You don't understand what you're carrying. It's not just life. You are holding the key to the future." They are led deeper into the tunnels. There, they find an old laboratory, textbooks, dusty DNA databases, and an ancient radio signal tower. Aryan asks, "Does the human dawn really exist?" Ilya nods. "They do. But so do traitors. Some will sell your names for a little power." Nila stares silently at the painting of a child on the wall. She knows the deeper they go, the less time they have. Outside, the war has begun. The city knows she's gone. Now, those hunting her will go underground too. Chapter 3. The Human Dawn. The deeper tunnels echoed with distant gunfire and faint screams. Nila's footsteps faltered as the weight in her belly pressed harder. But determination burned brighter. Ilya led them through a maze of corridors until they reached a heavy steel door engraved with a phoenix rising from ashes. "This is where the human dawn operates," Ilya whispered. "A hidden resistance, a flicker of hope in this dead city." The door hissed open, revealing a dimly lit chamber filled with people, scientists, fighters, and survivors. Screens flickered with maps, DNA sequences, and encrypted messages. A man stepped forward, his eyes sharp and weary. "I am Elias, leader of the Human Dawn." He looked at Nila, then at Aryan. "We have been waiting for her, waiting for the child who can change everything." Nila's heart raced. "Will you help me?" she asked. Elias nodded slowly. "We will protect you, but it won't be easy. There are enemies within and beyond these walls." Outside, the city was descending into chaos. Military drones scoured the streets, but here, underground, a new fight was beginning. "We must prepare," Elias said, "for the future depends on this last light." Nila felt a surge of hope. Maybe, just maybe, the world could be reborn. Chapter 4. Shadows Within. Days passed in the hidden sanctuary beneath London. Nila's body grew heavier, the child inside moving with restless urgency. Around her, the human dawn prepared. Scientists analyzing her blood. Fighters strategizing their next moves. But shadows lurked, not just outside, but within. One evening, as Nila sat quietly beside the old radio tower, Aryan's face grew grave. "There's talk of a traitor," he whispered. "Someone here feeding information to the government's hunters." Nila's breath caught. Could she trust anyone? Every glance, every whisper now seemed a threat. Ilya approached, her scarred face somber. "The enemy is closer than you think. We must be careful." That night, a sudden alarm shattered the calm. The steel doors shook under the pounding of boots and heavy machines. "They found us!" Elias shouted. The human dawn sprang into action. Blasters fired, shadows moved swiftly. Nila clutched her belly, feeling the baby kick fiercely, as if sensing the danger. Aryan grabbed her hand. "We have to move, now!" Together they fled through hidden passages, deeper into the labyrinth beneath the city, chasing the last flicker of hope against a rising tide of darkness. Chapter 5. The Escape. The underground tunnels twisted and turned like a labyrinth, echoing with distant shouts and the pounding footsteps of their pursuers. Nila's breath came fast, each step heavier than the last as the child inside her pressed harder, reminding her of the fragile life she carried. Aryan led the way, torchlight flickering against damp stone walls. "Not much further," he urged, glancing back nervously. Behind them, the sound of mechanical drones grew louder. The government's hunters were relentless, their mission clear: capture the pregnant girl who held the future of humanity. Nila clutched her bag tightly, the old music box inside rattling softly, a small piece of her mother's memory and a symbol of hope. Suddenly, the passage opened into a vast cavern where the underground flame awaited. Figures cloaked in shadows stepped forward, weapons ready, faces grim but determined. "We'll hold them off," their leader said, a woman with fierce eyes. "You must get to the surface and cross the border. The human dawn will send reinforcements." Nila nodded, swallowing her fear. This was her last chance. As the first gunshots echoed behind them, she took a deep breath, and stepped into the darkness beyond toward a dangerous journey for a new dawn. Chapter 6. Flickers of Trust. Nila emerged from the shadowed tunnels into the cold night air. The city above was a ghost. Streets littered with debris, flickering neon signs long dead, and distant echoes of sirens. Beside her, Arian kept watch, eyes sharp for any sign of danger. We're not safe yet. The border is miles away, through hostile zones controlled by the regime. Nila clutched her small bag tighter, feeling the life inside her move, stronger now, almost defiant. As they navigated the ruined streets, a figure stepped out from an alley, a young woman with a kind face and quick smile. "I'm Mira," she said softly. "The underground flames sent me to guide you." Arian looked skeptical, but nodded. Trust was scarce these days. Mira led them through hidden paths and forgotten tunnels, sharing stories of the resistance, of people who refused to let the light die. Nila felt a fragile hope stirring, a belief that she wasn't alone, and that the child she carried could truly change everything. But as they moved deeper into enemy territory, Mira's eyes flickered with something unreadable, a secret that could either save them or doom them all. Chapter 7. Secrets in the Shadows. The moon hung low, casting a pale glow over the ruined cityscape, as Nila, Arian, and Mira pressed forward. Every sound was amplified, the crunch of shattered glass beneath their feet, distant echoes of patrols, the soft hum of drones scanning for movement. Mira moved with practiced stealth, guiding them through forgotten alleyways and broken subway shafts. But Nila noticed something. Mira often glanced behind them, her expression tense, as if carrying a burden. One night as they rested in an abandoned building, Nila gathered courage. "Mira, why do you look worried? What aren't you telling us?" Mira hesitated, then sighed. "There's a price for every rebellion," she said quietly. "Some of us have debts to the regime. I want to help, but there are forces pushing me to betray this mission." Arian's eyes narrowed. "If you're a threat, say it now." "No," Mira said firmly. "I want to believe in this child's future, but I'm caught between two worlds." Nila felt the weight of trust and betrayal hanging over them. The journey wasn't just about outrunning enemies. It was about choosing who to believe. Outside, the city whispered with danger. The last lights still flickered, but shadows were closing in. Chapter 8. Fractures. Tension crackled in the cold air as Nila, Arian, and Mira sat around a small fire in the ruins of an old library. The flickering flames cast long shadows, but nothing hid the unease between them. Arian broke the silence, voice low but firm. "If you're torn, Mira, you need to decide where your loyalty lies. We don't have room for betrayal. Not now." Mira looked down, then met Nila's eyes. "I'm trying, but the regime has ways to control people. Threats, leverage. They have my brother." Nila's heart clenched. "We can help. We'll find a way." Before Mira could respond, the ground trembled. A distant explosion followed by the roar of engines. "They found us," Arian whispered, grabbing Nila's hand. "We need to move, now." As they scrambled to their feet, Mira hesitated. Her gaze flickered with conflict. "Don't let them take me," she pleaded quietly. Nila nodded, feeling the weight of the unborn child pressing against her resolve. "We're in this together," she said. "No matter what." Outside, the city burned brighter in the night, a beacon of chaos and hope intertwined. Chapter 9. echoes of the past. As they fled through the labyrinth of crumbled buildings, Mira's mind drifted back to darker days. She was once part of the regime's enforcers, a young recruit with fierce loyalty, trained to root out dissent. But everything changed when her brother, Jahan, was arrested during a resistance raid. Faced with torture and threats, Mira was coerced into spying on those she once called allies. Her heart split in two. One night, after smuggling secret messages to the resistance, she had to choose: betray the underground or lose her only family. She chose to help, but the price was a lifetime of fear and distrust. Now, standing beside Nila, the pregnant girl who could ignite a revolution, Mira was desperate to make things right. But the regime's grip was tight, and the hunters closing in weren't just soldiers. They were shadows from her past, ready to drag her back into the darkness. Her secret could either doom them all, or be the key to their salvation. Chapter 10. The Last Light. The cold dawn crept over the shattered city as Nila, Aryan, and Mira reached the outskirts, where the last barrier to freedom stood, the heavily guarded border checkpoint. Behind them, the thunder of pursuit grew louder. Drones swarmed the skies, and armed soldiers closed in. Mira's secret had been revealed. She had confessed to Elias and the resistance leaders, earning both their suspicion and trust. Her brother was alive, held captive by the regime, and the only way to save him was to complete the mission. Nila's belly ached fiercely. The child was ready to come into a broken world. "We have to cross now," Aryan urged, scanning for patrols. With a desperate burst of speed, they dashed toward the checkpoint, dodging gunfire and evading drones. The resistance fighters from the Human Dawn and the Underground Flame launched a fierce counterattack, buying precious moments. At the border wall, a hidden gate slid open, thanks to allies on the other side. Nila stumbled through, collapsing into safety as the first rays of sunlight pierced the fog, a light unseen in decades. A new dawn. A cry pierced the morning. Nila's child entering the world. A fragile spark, but a spark nonetheless. The last light of humanity, and with it, the hope of rebirth.